Hey everybody, it's Belgrade Beat, and I'm going to tell you the result of a poll and basically answer a question that was in the comments of that poll about Belgrade as a city to live and, the future of this wonderful city that a lot of us love so much. So here we go. Here's the poll. 288 votes. Belgrade, Serbia as a place to live is an amazing place, the best city in the world, 23%. City with so much potential for the future, 48%. A good place to live if you're a foreigner but not local, 20%. A once great city with no future, 6%. A horrible place to live, 3%. There you have it, folks. 26 thumbs up, 0 dislikes. Tell us what you think about Belgrade, folks. That was my question. People answered. You see, most people believe with the potential of Belgrade in the future. At least most people who watch my channel in English about Belgrade believe in the future of Belgrade. So, from Milian, well, here we go. He wants to ask a question. So, I can make a whole new video about it, basically what I'm doing now. Tell me, please, will bringing more foreigners to Belgrade somehow spoil the current energy, hospitality, and spirit of the people there? Will it change the city in a bad way? Is there a possibility where locals will start hating foreigners because of the big impact they will have on the city? Because visiting is one thing, but moving to a place is a completely another one. Well, digital nomads are a mix of both. So, can a Serbian spirit and a Serbian identity with its specific psychological features endure all those pressures and adapt? Well, interesting topic, interesting questions. Thanks for pointing it out and following up on the comment. Yes, I want to answer this on camera. And so basically, will bringing more foreigners to Belgrade somehow spoil the current energy, hospitality, and the spirit of the people there? Well, with any population movement, whether it be the brain drain that intelligent people leave this country, or people coming here to move in because they love the city and how vibrant it is, and the affordable cost of living, and the beautiful women and all that. Whatever it is, a population movement is bound to change things about the city, the vibe, the sorts of places and businesses that are succeeding and opening up to cater to the people who are actually here. Will it change it in a bad way? Well, that remains to be seen. I think definitely we do need the city to become more international. And I think definitely that the Serbian people will welcome that and that they will make the most out of it. Does that mean nothing bad can happen? No, I'm not saying nothing bad could happen. Bad things will happen as a result of people moving here, and the city will change. You can't stop you can't stop things changing, folks. It's the nature of life. There's a certain entropy where things degrade over time, which is I think what we've seen in Belgrade and a lot of things. And there's a certain way that things transform into new things as they decline. So Belgrade can transform, as the most intelligent and young and ambitious people leave this country to go to places where they can take part of university systems and employment opportunities, that they don't have here, economic opportunities and other opportunities that they don't have here. As people leave for that, weirdos like me will come, and people who see the opportunity in cultural lifestyle things that the city has to offer will come here and they'll set up shop. People in the remote working and IT related industries and anything you can do remotely will come here, set up shop just because of the geo arbitrage. They'll come for, they'll come for the culture. They'll stay for the opportunity of living a great life here for not much money. And they'll eventually realize that this is the place to be because it's a vibe like no other. So will it change the city in the bad way? Yes, it can happen. But I mean, here's a good question. Serbian identity and specific psychological features endure all those pressures and adapt. Yes, the Serbian identity and its psychological features will adapt as it has been for thousands of years. for hundreds of years, for whatever amount of time. This is the Balkans. People were coming and go, look at the map. You've got the Middle East on one side, all of Southern Europe on another side, and Central Europe on the other side. Basically, I mean, and we're in Eastern Europe. This is the crossroads of Europe. People and different cultures have been coming and going for a long time. And the most beautiful thing about this thing that is Serbian identity and culture is that Serbian identity and culture has made the most of that, taking ideas from different cultures while still remaining its own cohesive cultural identity. And it's its own sort of culture where people feel a part of something that is great. But they're open to other things, they're open to other people, and it's always been like that. That's what Tito did under the Yugoslav times. He started the League of Non-Aligned Nations rather than joining the polarity, the war between East and West, the communist countries and the capitalist countries. He didn't buy into that. He's like, no, we're going to actually be non-aligned with either of those blocks, because he was a smart guy. And I do see like that the government here is doing this a similar sort of thing with the way that they basically make friends with the Western countries, as well as the Chinese, as well as the Russians, as well as the Indonesians, the Arabs, and all these other people. They're doing the same thing, following the same tradition. And so, since this country is pretty neutral politically, you have all sorts of different people from different cultures. You've seen over the last couple of weeks on my channel, I've had the pleasure of interviewing people from Russia and China who come here and they feel a country that's friendly for them and their culture. Whereas, if someone from Russia or China moves to, the country where I grew up, Canada, they're going to feel a little bit of unfriendliness, maybe skepticism towards their country because of geopolitical concerns. And they're going to do their best to become Canadian as fast as possible, because their country is quite frankly looked down upon in places like Canada, the US, United Kingdom, places like that. But here in Serbia, if you come and you're coming from Russia or China, it's like, welcome, here's a land of opportunity for you to keep your connection to your country, to be in a country that's friendly towards your country, that's not engaging in, geopolitical battles with your country, and just, open for people to move here, because lots of people are leaving here. So we need lots of intelligent people from around the world. So now Westerners like me, we move here and we see a life that we always wanted, and we see a sort of like opportunity to be ourselves more than we did back home. And so we're attracted to the Serbian identity and culture, and that's why we end up here, among the economic reasons, and among the, well, now in 2020, 21, sort of freedom associated reasons, where UK and Canada and parts of the US have lockdowns, whereas here in Serbia life is pretty much going on as normal. So a lot of people are moving here because of that, and that's awesome. I believe that in 2021 Belgrade is the place to be, and you're just going to see it more blossom into this year, where we decide that we're not going to let a pandemic destroy who we are as a culture, as a city of Belgrade, and we're not going to let it destroy our lifetime, even our lifestyle, even though it's an amazing, it's a horrible cost to pay, the people who are dying, the people who are getting sick, whatever, but we can't let it bring us to our knees. No, Serbia's been through much worse, and it remains open to tourists, even though they need a PCR test. But once you get here, you're coming back into life as normal. Whereas if you were in Canada or, the UK, places like that, you were probably coming from a place where your life has pretty much been reduced to house arrest, with a few exceptions. So think about that, folks. And yeah, Serbs can adapt to people coming here. And I think that the types of people who are attracted to Serbia, Serbia doesn't have the greatest reputation either in the West, because a lot of people think it's Siberia, which is a part of Russia, which is ridiculous. A friend of mine I was talking to in Thailand, an American guy, made that mistake, calling it Siberia today when we were on the phone. And I was like, hey, man, you still in Taiwan? Get it right, folks. But, people are ignorant about most of the people in the world are ignorant about this part of the world, and the people who actually do come here and try it out, they see a certain thing about life that they were missing back home. So it's not like where Americans from California are moving to Texas because there's more space there and lower taxes, and they're bringing their California lifestyle there and ignoring the culture of Texas. No, Serbia has a much greater psychological barrier for foreigners to move here because it has a stigma about it, because of the war of the 90s. If they do know where Serbia is, they know that there was war in the 90s. Well, guess what? It's 3 decades later, and there's no war here. Not as much as there's a war on your freedom in the West right now with all these lockdowns and the greatest transfer of wealth from poor to rich in human history going on. So, I mean, think about that. And basically, yeah, Serbia is the place to be right now. Will foreigners change the city? I think yes. They'll contribute new ideas. They'll bring a more cosmopolitan vibe. But can they shift the Serbian culture and identity? Probably not that much, because Serbs are a very resilient people who have been through a lot in history. I'm talking about, for example, when the Austro-Hungarian Empire used to have wars with the Ottoman Turks that used to wipe out most of the population of Vojvodina. Then they would bring people in from Czech Republic, from Romania, from Slovakia, and different places, other places in the empire, such as, even like Ukraine. The Ruthenian people would come, and so Rusins, and basically all those people still live in Vojvodina. And yeah, Vojvodina is a little bit different because of that cultural mix than the rest of Serbia, but it still is very much a part of Serbia, right? So if a bunch of foreigners move to Belgrade, I mean, Belgrade already is very different from the rest of Serbia. And it's just going to be that sort of like cultural mix where the overwhelming culture is still going to be, yeah, this is Serbia. Belgrade will have a different flavor. And yeah, more cosmopolitan. But I don't think that this place will suffer from the same sort of thing that I saw happening in Prague, let's say about 17 years ago, where it got overrun by drunk British tourists, for example, on stag parties, like bachelor parties. And yeah, drunk British tourists come to Belgrade. You see it sometimes. And they misbehave according to the Serbian code of conduct, and people let them know really quickly that they should not be idiots. And I think that what's really good about Serbia is it's a place that engages people in English and is not afraid. Like here in Belgrade, people don't treat foreigners um, with as much of a wall between them and the locals as in other places where, like if a foreigner misbehaves here, Serbian people will say, hey, in Serbia, that's unacceptable. Don't do that. Whereas in some other places, that might not be the case because they have a different attitude towards speaking up in general, or they have a different attitude towards foreigners. Yes, there is a filter when Belgrade and Serbian people are speaking in English and talking to foreigners. They want to show the best of them, and you probably only realize this as a foreigner here when you start speaking English, when you start speaking Serbian, and you start interacting with the locals like that. So yeah, that's it. The city, it will change. It will change for the better. Foreigners will come and they'll slightly change, some situations of the economy and stuff like that. Hopefully, they'll bring new ideas, new opportunities, and new businesses to Serbia. With the internet economy and remote working here will become a much bigger thing, and a lot more Serbian people will be also invited to join in it. And well, looking forward to see that in the future. So thank you very much, my friend, for this lovely comment because it gave me a great um, topic for a video. So thanks a lot. Belgrade beat. Not on the streets today. It's kind of miserable outside. The roads are wet. It's been raining all day, but I'm going to make it through this winter. The weekend was really nice. I got to ride my bike around the city on both Saturday and Sunday. And I'm feeling it, folks. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling this year, 2021, is a great year in Belgrade. So if you're a foreigner and you're thinking of coming here, now's the time. Send me an email if you want more information, what I think about this. Eric@eric.rs, ERIK@ERIK.rs is my email address. I'll catch you guys later. Bye now.